honors? Do you want to do the honors?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
I've never gotten to do this before. I'm so excited. Okay, you're right. Great ideas, bad execution. And who are we? Rita? Not me. Rita and Luto, but who are we?
Luto.
Who are we?
Luto, what are we? We are your guides, your consultants, your idea makers, and the hosts of this wonderful podcast. None other than PRISM Project Generation 2. I'm your favorite Akuma-sama, Araka da yo. And then next to me we have Bucktails.
Me, Bucketace, or as you may know, Rita Kamishiro. And I am the cyber angel of PRISM Project Generation 2. Happy to be here and always happy to be back in the office again. And, back at it as always, doing what it is that we do.
Back at it.
And what is it that we do, Luto?
Now we can stop back, alright.
Well, if you are new here to the office, we help you come up with solutions or answers to some of your strange questions or topics.
But, the catch is that since we're both co-workers, we ain't gonna agree on one final product. Otherwise, you get nothing. If we don't agree, you get nothing, okay? It is what it is. Suck it up. Alright.
But we do aim to offer our lovely customers at the end of each day a product, if you will, or a solution.
I mean, we try. We try our best.
We try.
But there's no
I think we've
guarantees
done
on
a
nothing,
good job.
you know?
We haven't gotten a failing score yet.
Oh,
We've
that's
gotten,
true.
flying reviews. Wonderful.
That's not bad. Yo.
That's not bad, yeah, actually. I think we're doing pretty okay. Let us know how we're doing, or if you have a favorite product thus far. But speaking of product, do you want to share with maybe our audio-only listeners what we have on our desks today?
All right. Today, I present to you, no official merch, by the way,
Not official.
branded water bottles to quench your thirst for when you're really, really heckin' thirsty. And what kind of thirst would it quench? Every kind. All of them.
Every kind.
Every kind of thirst.
All kinds.
You need it right now. Buy at offthescuff.merch. Not a real website, by the way.
No, not a real. Oh gosh, but if you haven't noticed already, we try to add something new to the office every episode. We had this idea, I think last episode we talked about Off the Water.
Yeah.
Our Off the Scuff branded water, but I think it'd be so fun maybe if one day we had, Off the Scuff. What do you think?
What if you just have Off the Merch? I think the website should just be called Off the Merch.
Off the Merch. We were talking about this behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Behind the scene, off the scene, if you will. About how everything related to Off the Scuff is now just going to be
actually everything.
Off the blank.
Yeah, no, and it's everything Gen 2 actually, just off the something.
Oh, I feel like the Gen 2 brand really is just Off the Scuff.
Precisely, because to live is to scuff, to scuff, as you probably would have known from the last episode, to live is to scuff.
To live is to scuff. And speaking of life, speaking of Off the Scuff as being your life motto, we actually have another similar, I guess, life-related topic, if you will. So, Luto, would you like to do the honors of introducing our first topic?
If you haven't guessed from the title of this video, then I present to you the topic of today's Off the Scuff なんですよ。はい、じゃあ、ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
So
thank you.
To some simple stories. Thank you for your question. So,
Thank you so much.
hey Luto and Rita, I've been loving McLovin this series.
Thank you.
Thanks, bruv. I seriously can't get enough. I love how you both really love what you do. I'd love to be in that position someday. I'm currently really stressed out at work now. And I was wondering, should I quit my job or not? What should I be considering? That's a toughie. That's a toughie, right?
That's a toughie. I mean, even for those maybe who may not know who I am very well, I actually As an idol trainee, I also have a idol side job, if you will. A lot of trainees do, you know, to help pay for idol dorm or training. But I have a side job that I'm hoping to myself quit as well. So I can certainly relate to this. Luto, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, please hire me somebody!
the Gen 2 duality, if you will.
Recently though, this is good timing because recently I'm actually doing the job hunt. So good time.
Wow. Good times. And so you know what will be good for today. I think since we have two very opposite perspectives, I think it'd be nice if we kind of maybe, you know, give an answer to this question, but maybe those who are on the flip side, like yourself, you know, looking for a job, maybe we could each offer, you know, 3 questions or 3 answers, or maybe questions you should ask yourself, right? Before you make the decision.
Are you saying that today's answer is going to be whether they should stay at their job or not? Is that the product that we're offering them?
I was thinking the product maybe could be 3 questions you could ask yourself, you know, if you're thinking about either quitting your job or as you're looking for a job, or what you should be looking for in a job. Since, you know, we both have 2 very unique and, you know, perspectives. Very, I guess, opposite perspectives, if you will. So, I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we can wrap it all up in one little package.
Upsides and downsides to having a job. Upside, have money. Downside, wanna die. Send help.
Oh, no. I don't want to... No. Oh, gosh.
To be honest, I don't think that's a downside, though, because I like working. So...
Yeah, I also like working, too. I think there's... I'm sure once we start diving into the brainstorming, you know, I can go more into the philosophy of finding work that you know, is fulfilling. But what are your thoughts on maybe having 6 questions, like 3 questions on things that you should, the 3 questions you should ask yourself before, you know, you quit your job, or 3 questions you should ask yourself as you're looking for a job. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So we can't really give you an answer because we don't really have your circumstances, but we can offer you an advice package.
Oh,
right? Is that what you're saying?
An advice package.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Right.
And you know, now you don't need to go spend like $100 or $200 on a seminar.
You don't
when you
need
can
career
get wonderful
advice?
career advice here, right?
Also, we're not legit career.
We're not.
People, so,
we're
don't
not
take what I
career
say too
coaches
seriously.
by any means. We're what is it? Your guides, your consultants, your friends.
Your bucketes and your Costco Akuma.
Did you say Costco Akuma?
Costco.
Oh, I thought you said Costco.
No, why Costco? I'm not cheap.
I thought. I know. That's why I was concerned.
I'm at least Gucci gang.
No, I think so. You are definitely Gucci gang.
Gucci gang.
You are definitely Gucci gang Akuma.
Gucci drip
we need to get that on a poster.
Yo, Gucci drip.
Maybe next episode you'll have.
Oh my god.
Maybe
what
you
do
could
you
wear
want?
like a chain. Me? What do I want?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think I would look good in? What sort of?
I am
drip do you
Gucci
think I would
gang.
look
You would be
Chanel.
Oh, I was gonna
I
say
don't know, do
either
you think I
LV or
give off-
Chanel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What luxury brands do you all think we are?
I'm
I don't know.
definitely
I feel
Gucci
like. Oh, I can see that. I feel like. I don't know. I feel like Chanel is what I
'Cause it's
vibe
classy.
with. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, luxury brands aside, we are here to assist you. So, what is it? 3 questions to ask yourself, whether it's
3
quitting a job or
Oh, I guess it's enough.
I don't know. We can brainstorm and pick our big 3, if you will.
What if we have more than 3 though? Can we add on? Well, tentatively 3. Maybe more to come. Who knows?
3. Maybe more to come.
Getting more for your
gosh.
getting more bang for your buck.
Yeah, we're adding. This is like an additional package to the already wonderful, deal that you're getting.
Precisely. Alright.
So let me split the whiteboard down in the middle.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming you're talking about things that you're considering in your journey of finding a job. So I'm gonna put you on the left. Oh, sorry for my bad handwriting. Finding a job.
It's okay.
And then
keep
quitting
gaming.
a job. We're gaming. We're
gaming. So
oh gosh.
upsides and downsides. I mean, it's not really upsides and downsides, but more like perspectives on why someone would want the job
Things
and why someone
that
would
you're
want to quit.
considering. Exactly. So what? Well, then that's a perfect segue. What are you considering when you're finding a job?
Okay. So you know how like last episode, watch it if you haven't. Last episode. You know how we talked about happiness, and you know how like one of the most basic things you said was like you need shelter and health, right? Well, I think like no duh. If you find a job, the most important thing is being able to look after yourself. No.
Right.
So I guess money and benefits,
Okay.
right? Like even if
most
you're like I
definitely.
really
Oh my
like
gosh.
working, there's no denying that you would not be working if you're not gonna get paid for it. So
Have you heard of that one study where, because I think, obviously financial stability is very important. But have you heard of that study where at a certain point, so much, like a certain amount of money more, only gives you so much extra happiness. I think it was around 75,000, with inflation it's probably a little bit more, but it's the idea of diminishing returns after a certain point. So.
no, because money
What are
doesn't
your
make you
thoughts?
happy, but also not having money also doesn't make you happy.
Exactly.
So you need a balance.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you need to find a job to make like 500K a year. Like I'm not saying.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
saying you just need enough to not worry, not having to
Right.
worry about buying
Right.
like the basic necessities,
Exactly.
and maybe a little bit of fun stuff on top of that, because everyone needs to have fun sometimes.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in financial stability or?
I mean, for me, technically, it's not really that much of a big deal because we have free healthcare. But in Fogoland, don't you need a job to get healthcare?
Well, I mean, some jobs offer like benefits.
Most of them do, right?
I'm not sure.
Really?
I haven't been in many jobs in Borgerland.
Wouldn't you know, like, from other people and stuff?
I don't know. That's the thing. I feel like not a lot of people talk about
What?
their jobs.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously with my friends, we talk about our salary or we talk about like our benefits, but I feel like there's a common, I don't want to say taboo, but maybe like a stigma against talking about, the specifics to your job. There's kind of like you kind of want to, I feel like there's generally a feeling of, I should probably, I disagree. I think people should be more comfortable sharing the details about their job. I think it helps everybody, fight for better pay or better, conditions. But I think for the most part, I feel like it's not something that people easily talk about.
I think I know what you mean. But I don't think it's... Like, I've heard of this, that in America, apparently it's really bad to ask someone for their salary. Like, how much they make and stuff like that. But I feel like here, it's just... I mean, it's not exactly good, but it's not exactly bad. Like, if I just went up to someone that I don't really know, sometimes people just tell me, like, without me even asking, because it's not really that big of a deal, I feel like.
Right.
Like,
I
why
think it
is
shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's important to share information like that.
I feel like they just made it a big deal so people wouldn't discuss, so people wouldn't find out that they're being scammed.
Right. But I think at the end of the day, people should do that.
Talk about it.
But this was a good point. This was definitely a good point. In the job hunting journey, that's definitely something you want.
Yeah, healthcare
consider.
and other benefits like superannuation. Oh, you guys don't call it superannuation. What do you call it?
What is superannuation?
The money you get when you get old. When you retire, retirement
Oh,
fund.
like a pension?
Yeah. What is it called again?
Wow.
Something K.
A pension? Oh, a 401k.
Yeah, that thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's called superannuation here. Super.
Oh, it's just called like a retirement like
Yeah, but don't you call it the
I see.
401k?
Well, there's different ones. There's like a 401k, a Roth IRA. Yeah. I don't want to go into details. I mean, you only get so much in today's solution package. You don't get free finance tips. maybe that'll be an off the scene episode. We'll talk about
off the
finance.
Scene. Oh yeah.
Off the scene.
Off the scene.
But yeah, that's certainly. I mean, on the flip side, that's something definitely I'm considering when I'm quitting a job, because when you quit a job, you're losing an income stream.
Yeah.
And, in my case, it's currently my main income stream. So I guess when it comes to something that I'm thinking of when quitting a job is like, am I preparing myself properly? So wow. I don't know if this is too close to your answer, but in the vein of finance, in the vein of personal finance, one thing that I'm considering when becoming a full-time PRISM Project agent is, am I prepared not just for my basic expenses, but also my business expenses, if you will, and for emergencies too. So kind of preparing myself, like, am I? And so I'm gonna put preparing here, but I don't mean just like saving up, right, a certain amount, but am I still enjoying myself in the moment? I think we mentioned this in the last episode. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. But like, it's important to save up for your future, but at what cost? So is this preparation, causing me to suffer now?
Not to be morbid, but you don't even know if you're gonna be alive like in the next few days.
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
I mean, it's true though. You never know what's gonna happen, so might as well enjoy every day. But I mean, to a certain extent as well. Can't yellow too hard.
Yeah, and yeah. But I guess that is one way to look at it. But yeah, I think that's one thing I'm considering is am I ready to take this step? Because I also thought, am I taking this step too soon? Like, should I tough it out a little bit longer? I don't know. But asking yourself if you're, well equipped to be prepared.
Right. Yeah.
And if you have a plan for your
like
finances.
For those of you who have a stable job, maybe you wouldn't know, but it's pretty draining not knowing what's going to happen like next month. Yeah. And then I guess when you realize that, oh crap, like my savings, it's not looking so good, like I'm gonna die. That's super stressful, man.
And I can imagine that. Yeah, thankfully I don't have to worry about that now, but I was definitely in that position for sure, and it's scary. It's definitely frightening. And that's something you have to consider too when you quit a job is am I willing to, cut down on my expenses? Am I ready for a lifestyle change?
Yeah, exactly. And also you get used to like your current lifestyle really fast.
Right.
So, which is why right now I have to be really thingy with my budgeting. Even though it's like, I make like a certain amount each month, I can't expect that this is gonna happen next month. So I try to like spend as like little as I can, so I don't get used to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a good point for if you're getting ready to leave a job is start preparing for that lifestyle early on. So like maybe stop eating out at restaurants or something, or start living that lifestyle you're expecting to live, so that when it comes, you're not as shocked.
I would say just prepare for the worst. Yeah.
But
hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst.
I mean, there's not really any way around it, like this.
I'm gonna put that down.
Yeah.
Hope for the best. Prepare for the
worst. Like what can you do? Sometimes some things just happen, some things don't end up happening. What you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Life happens.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to you, Luto. What else are you thinking about?
I mean, technically, I have a question for you though. Although you are quitting a job, technically you would still have a job, no?
That's true.
So it's not completely quitting a job.
It's moving on from a more stable place to a very unstable place, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So, do you think there would be a difference between like completely not having a job? Like, would you then advocate for quitting your job if that's the only job that they have?
So actually, I have a point to make on that. So when it comes to quitting a job, I think it's really important to know what you're doing it for. Like, are you quitting it for something? Does that make sense? I guess what I'm trying to say is, are you running towards something, or are you running away from something?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Understand.
So like, maybe whether it's you're going back to school, or you just want to spend time to understand what it is that's important to you, you're taking care of family, you're going to a different job, starting a business, but does that make sense? Like having a goal rather than running away from something.
A goal and also a fallback plan. I feel like that's pretty important.
Right. And, that's the whole hope for the best, prepare for the worst. But in terms of thinking, why do I want to quit this job? Or in consideration, just thinking in mind, like, try to run to something rather than away.
Right. Understand. I get to. So basically you're saying like, oh, I've always wanted to travel the world, but I can't because my job, it's holding me down. Well, wait no longer. Go travel, quit your job, but also make sure that you have the means to do that before you quit your job, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so maybe not thinking like, oh, I'm going to quit because I don't like working, or I'm, rather think of it as, maybe I want to take a break, or I want to learn something, or I needed to take care of family, or I want to take care of myself, or get a different job. So it's just, I guess it's more of a mindset thing. Are you running away, or are you running towards something? Yeah.
Understandable.
So go ahead and share something on your. What is it? What were we saying? Or things that you're considering when looking for a job.
I guess okay, so maybe it's a bit different for me, for other people as well, just because there's probably people out there that already had multiple jobs and whatnot, right? I don't know if it's different because for me, this is, if I, when I get one, it will be my first proper job. That's something to do with my degree, right? So it's kind of like finding one is also like a way of, I guess, proving yourself. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, oh, I can do it. Like, I wasn't just a dumb little,
Okay, so what are you trying to say then? Or what is this consideration that you want to share?
It's just, I don't know. I think it's more for yourself, so like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's more like, oh, I know I am capable. Because for a long time, for me, it was, I feel like everyone else is so much better than me, and I can't do it. I can't do it because, like, for some reason, everyone else is just so much smarter. Everyone else can just, I'm the smartest. But, they're just so much smarter. And then, and then I'm like, oh, I'll never be able to do what everyone else is doing. But then it's also at the same time, it's like, how come I'm the only one who can't do it? And then that mentality is kind of draining, no? Because it's like, I feel like, do you ever get that feeling where it's like nothing, do you ever feel like if you get lucky that something bad is going to happen to you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's me. So for me, it's like, if something good happens to me, like, that shouldn't be happening.
I feel that. Oh, gosh. Oh, dear.
Which is why, like, a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to do it. I'm gonna... Yeah, happens.
So what do you want to write in the bullet?
I don't really know. I actually don't know what this bullet point is. It's just,
just something that you've been thinking about.
This is like just the reason why like having a job is nice, because I guess it's for self-worth as well, because you're constantly in a place where you're needed. Like, you know what I mean?
True. So finding a job for like personal growth.
Yeah, personal growth. Yeah. But I mean, this kind of leads on to another point that I kind of have, which is always learning. Having a job is really good if you want to be in an environment where you're forced to learn something new every day. I mean, it depends on your job, really, but the stuff that I'm looking for are like environments that would allow me to do so. I mean, kind of in PRISM, it is one of those.
Right, yeah. And you know what? Actually, I think this might be a good one for both because that's also a reason why I'm hoping to quit my idol side job is because, I want to be challenged and I want to learn and I want to grow. And if you feel like your current job or your current situation doesn't allow you the opportunities to grow and feel challenged, then you should, I think it's about the time to move on to something. And maybe it's challenging, but it's not interesting to you, or it's not, exciting to you.
Yeah, I think it just
maybe it's time to move on to a different opportunity.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on your job. Maybe like your job is giving you like stress because you just don't like it. I think a lot of things you need to consider as well. I guess it kind of this really ties into last week's episode, but it's just what you want. Like, are you the sort of person that wants to just chill at work? Then maybe just find somewhere more chill to work at. Are you someone that wants to be challenged at work? Then by all means, go find something more challenging.
I think this is a very like relevant topic.
Yeah.
I feel because I feel like there's I'm sure everyone's heard of bunches of people wanting to leave their jobs and I think the core of it is the great resignation. Yes. But I think I think one of the, at least for a group of people, the core of it is having the time to realize what is it that's important to me.
A journey of self-discovery, boys.
Right, exactly. So, going off of what you were saying is, do you find fulfillment in your job? And, obviously it comes from a place of I guess, privilege to say, like, I don't have to worry about, just making money, being able to find or do a job that is personally fulfilling. Like being a PRISM Project agent.
Yeah. I mean, like, technically, as stressful as it is to do this, I'm like, no, I'm pretty goddamn privileged. Not everyone has, like, an opportunity like this.
Right, yeah, and I'm very
for you that's thinking, but you can do this because you're privileged. I know. So what of it? What you gonna do about it? Everyone's different, okay? Don't look at me. Look at yourself.
Right, yeah. And this was a good point, though, the whole idea of do you feel personally fulfilled? Do you like your job? Do you see a path of growth for yourself? Do you see, like, do you want to change? Do you want to move? Do you find yourself stagnating? And then that's a good point to leave jobs or find a better job.
Also, can I
feel like
oh, sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Me?
No, go for it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Can I just go on a slight little tangent?
Go for it.
I was just, I don't know, what I just said just reminded me. Do you ever get really annoyed at those kind of people that's like, when you complain or like when you say something nice, and you're like, oh my god, I just had like the worst day. And if someone just, that one, this is my one swear for today, that one motherfucker just has to be like, no, my day is worse. Why, mate? Why? Why do you have to say that? Like,
I understand.
And then there's people out
like
there,
the whole Pain Olympics.
Yeah, what?
You know, it's like the idea of Pain Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you may be suffering, but I'm suffering more.
I'm so annoyed at these people. And there's people that's out there that's like, so for example, if you complain, like, we're technically what we're doing is, I don't know if this counts as complaining, but if we complain, I bet you someone in the head is going to be like, you can't complain. Think of the African children. They don't even get to eat. And how dare you complain when you have a job when there's people homeless out there? And it's like...
Right. Actually, that's actually not really much of a tangent because I think that's another point that I want to make is, like, don't listen to others' expectations for you. Because I feel like, I feel, it's exactly that. I feel bad whenever I think of, I want to leave this job so I can be a full-time agent because, some people have told me, at least you have a job right now, at least, but,
that's me. I was the one who said that.
No, but you mean it well, but you mean it well, but, others have been like, I'm, and it kind of makes me feel bad because, it's almost, I don't know if this is dark, but almost every day I've found myself, waking up and sitting down and just waiting for the end of the day and just feeling stressed out about, I feel like I feel like I'm wasting, 40 hours of my week,
Right.
when I could be working on something that is one meaningful for others, or in a more tangible way, meaningful to others and impactful for others,
Right.
and also more time on something that I enjoy and am passionate about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
So I guess, when you're thinking about quitting a job, are you doing this for yourself? Don't as you're struggling with whether or not to quit or not. If one of the things that's keeping you back is what are my friends going to say? What is my family going to say? Don't let that, hinder you. Does that make sense?
I mean, obviously, I feel like with advice, you gotta take everything with like a grain of salt. So take what I say with a grain of salt as well. Because in the end of the day, like, people can give you advice, but they're not you. Only you know what you go through, so there's no point just blindly listening to somebody. Like, that's stupid, I feel like. Have your own decisions.
Exactly. You said it best. You know your own situation.
Yeah, but also, like, those people, man, they're just pissing me off.
Oh gosh.
Those people that's like so, you know what I'm talking about. You know the people I'm talking about. That's like so like.
I understand what you're talking
like
about.
The keyboard warriors. That's what they are.
Right. And I feel like that's an important thing to bring up because these are two very different sides of a coin. And I feel like there's people in each side that are often saying like, oh, at least you're free to do whatever you want, and the other side says, oh, at least you have a job. I think you have the right to feel upset about your situation and wanting to do something about it, but you shouldn't put others down.
Yeah.
In the process, you should be lifting others up.
But also finding a job continuing from what you said, actually, sometimes people say that because they don't know what it's like to be on the other side.
Right.
So that's why I think it's important to find a job as well, just so you know what it's like. Because you sometimes just have to experience it. Maybe it's hard for you to empathize with other people. Maybe you're just a psychopath.
Oh dear. Oh gosh.
Put yourself in those poor people's shoes. Think about it.
Exactly.
I mean, technically, like, I want to find a job, but I would never, again, find a retail job. And I'm, like, pretty privileged to say that as well, because I realize a lot of people have to have retail job. It's either that or they're starving, right? So, like, I get it. Privilege. But, like, honestly...
So you worked retail before?
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't?
I've worked... So I haven't worked retail. I don't know if I've told it. I've worked fast
I've
food
definitely
before.
said F you to a customer before, just
No!
putting this out there. So if it was you,
two very different kinds of, because I used to work in fast food, so
I had a huge fight with my bosses before as well because they were all dickheads.
Really? Now I want to know. Oh my gosh! I wish we were like co-workers in fast food or co-workers in retail. That would have been so fun. Don't you think? But now we're here, co-workers at Off the Scuff.
Mama.
Co-workers at PRISM
Retail,
Project.
Never again. I hate that.
Do you have a retail horror story?
Oh my god, so many. So I used to work at okay, I've worked at restaurants, I've worked at clothing stores, and I've worked at like electronic stores. So I have so many from all of them. So basically, at like, okay, restaurants are dodgy in the sense that how a lot of them pay you. I don't know how Bogoland works, but here, like a lot of the dodgy ones, they, like if it's not a big franchise, they would just pay you like cash in hand, especially like when you're like a student, because
Oh wow.
because you don't know any better, like when you're in high school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So for example, our minimum wage here is actually I think when you're 18 or like before you're 18 or something, it's like something between $16 to $20 an hour. It's pretty high.
And that's
the
like,
minimum wage. But
not USD, right?
No, AED. So it's probably something like $12, $13.
Yeah. Something like that. That's the minimum wage?
Yeah, it's pretty good, right? But our stuff is also a lot more expensive than yours. So
true. Cost of living is high.
Yeah,
Right.
I think our rent is more than double you guys's, and our houses cost
way
more than double
gosh.
your houses.
That's right, huh?
Yeah, so technically, who's really winning? But I guess we do have free healthcare, so there's that.
Yeah, that too. Oh gosh.
Yeah, but so there's minimum wages, but then they would exploit the students. So especially the international students, because you know how international students technically are on a student visa, so they're only allowed to work, let's say, like 20 hours a week or something like that. And then anything over that, it's not allowed. So because it's cash in hand, they can work as long as they want because it's not recorded. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So what they would do is they would pay these people something crazy, like $6 to $8 an hour. That's like less than half of what the legal minimum wage is. Yeah. And then I actually had a talk with that manager. I was like, why? Like, I was like, you know, like I can just literally sue you because I was about to leave. I didn't give a single heck.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So why shouldn't I sue you? Basically, this is one of the managers that I kind of got along well with. All the other ones, like, they hated me. I think it's because I'm loud, and they didn't like that.
Oh god.
They like, you know, like retail people. They like people that listen to them. You know, like that certain like the retail worker that every like employee really likes. I was opposite of that. So.
Oh goodness.
So I told him, I was like, why aren't you? Because like this is something that's so easy. Like I could just report you and then you guys ahead. And he basically told me, oh, he didn't know. And I was like, that's so stupid. There's no way you didn't know. I was like, as if you run a business without knowing, right? Yeah.
There's no way. That's so suspicious.
So the horror story that I have a little bit off the topic, but it's basically one. I was working as a waitress. This was at the restaurant, and they told me that I had to go do something that was way outside of my job description. I think it was along the. I think also at this point I was already really fed up with the job because they. You know, some people, when they come in, they just treat you like absolute garbage because they feel like you're working for me. I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
And they talk to me. Like, they don't even call me by my name. They're like, Luto, can you please? They go like, oi, do that. And I'm like, the heck? Like, who do you think you are, bro?
Oh, gosh.
And then... And then so at that point I was already fed up, and then they sent me a message, like a text, to like the group chat. They were like, "Oh, whoever's working today, make sure you go and grab like something from like the supermarkets or something that was pretty far away." And then I was like, "I can't drive, you know, like how do you expect me to get there?" And then they wanted something heavy as well. I think it was drinks. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I was basically no. Like at first of all, I said it as a joke because this was like by one of the managers who was kind of close to me. So I said it as like low key a joke, but also low key like no, I don't want to do it. And then the other manager that like absolutely hated me, he went off, man. He was like, how dare you speak to us like this? How could you?
I would have cried.
I didn't
if
cry.
That happened to me.
I was just like...
I mean, well, people yelling at me. I always
no. I yelled at him back.
But if I... two very different kinds of workers.
I was basically like, bro, you talk to me like this, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna heckin' quit and I'm gonna sue you. I was like, I'm in the right here, you're in the wrong. You're making me do something outside my job description. I don't have to do it, you know?
I'm trying to think of horror. I feel like I have a lot of like bad stories
with customers
in fast food specifically.
I haven't worked in fast food, actually.
Oh, I've never worked in retail.
No.
Well, there you go. But one day, so I normally get put on either cash register or drive-through. For who would have thought that, you know, I would start off as a cashier person or a drive-through, and then I would end up being a streamer. Because it's funny because my manager would say, you know, you're really good at talking to people, you have a nice voice. You should. And who would have thought, you know? Now here I am. Wow, who would have thought? But one day,
how to turntable.
Right. One day, the manager had messed up the scheduling for staff, so it was only me and her opening. And I don't know what she was doing, but I guess she had some important stuff to do in the office, because in the first half hour or hour, it was only me on the drive-through, the register, fries and burgers.
Oh my god, I've had that. I get you. I've had to manage a whole floor by myself once.
Oh,
like a couple times actually.
It was so wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, like
Oh,
it was a
goodness.
big store as well. Like it's not small. Think something like Zara or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to manage a whole floor like that by myself.
Like that, wow.
Just because they couldn't be like they didn't want to pay money to get more people in because it was like a like it was on the weekends as well because you know how weekends they pay more. I don't know if that's a thing for you guys, but like double pay on Sunday.
I for overtime, yes, but
You guys don't have standard
from what
double
I
pay?
know of.
Oh my god. Yo,
No,
that
I
sucks.
don't think so.
On Sundays, like our base rate is like 30 to 40 bucks I think for like an hour.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Maybe for some jobs. I don't think that's a standard thing.
Ah, that sucks.
I don't know. I've never worked in retail, but anyway, I'm gonna pass the ball back to you. You have 2 bullet points here on the whiteboard. Do you have another piece of advice you'd like to share?
Don't work retail.
No, you do what you must. So finding a job,
Yeah.
thinking about financial stability, thinking about a growth and a learning experience, and even if it's not something you would traditionally consider a growth or learning experience, but maybe try to find, maybe you're not at a job you would like to be in, but maybe you try to find growth opportunities there, or maybe things like that. But what else do you have to share in your half of the advice package, if you will?
I mean, just to be able to have like a routine is nice. Because technically right now I technically do have a job, so the reason why I want to get another one is because having that sort of set time where you have to do something like I have to wake up now, I have to go to sleep now, and then I have to plan everything around it. So at that, because right now like I don't know what's gonna happen in my life, and sometimes that is a mental toll. So for example, if my friends ask me, they're like, "Lito, do you wanna chuck a mad Christmas party?" And I'll be like, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that because I have no idea, because I don't know, like, am I gonna stream? Am I not going to? Am I gonna plan something? Is PRISM gonna have something? You know, like that. But then if you were to just work a normal job, it would just be like, yeah, that's holidays for everyone. Like, why wouldn't I? You know? Yeah.
Right. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so interesting seeing, having such different perspectives. I'm sure if I was in your situation, I would be thinking that same, train of thought.
Yeah.
I think currently for me, I think I have too much in my, well, I guess that comes with working 2 jobs, but I'm constantly thinking,
I'm gonna
I
be
wish
here in
I
a few
had
months' time when I find the job.
Hey, we're gonna switch.
We're gonna go
Maybe
switcheroo. Maybe we're gonna have
maybe
some
we should come
overlap.
back. Oh yeah. Maybe we should come back to this episode and kind of.
I'll tell you how I feel then.
Exactly, because I think you and all the prisoners know that I live by my Google Calendar.
It's
So
gonna be me.
at least for me, I mean, in your case, your a job would offer you routine, but I think the way that I naturally, just how I think and how I operate, I think, regardless of whether or not I have a regimented job schedule, I think I will give myself my own routine, if that makes sense.
I am really bad at setting routines. Like, I don't have routines. I only have deadlines. So, and like, okay, the reason why school really worked for me is because they put me in a place where I'm only allowed to do that, where I'm expected to do something, and there's deadlines. So that's something like a normal job is really gonna give, because it's pretty much like going to school. You go sit there, you do from morning to awful, like, and then they give you deadlines on when things need to be due, and you work on it. It's exactly the same as school, and I really appreciate that, because like when I went into uni, because uni is so much more flex. Uni and sort of streaming is kind of like the same. So if you're wondering, no, I'm serious. Like if you're wondering, like what it's like to stream versus what it's like to have a stable job, just think about high school and then think about uni. It's kind of like
because it's like you have a few hours every week, and that's your classes or that's your streams, and then you kind of basically build your schedule around those. And that's that's something I'm excited for, because I like the routine of a schedule, but I want more flexibility over my schedule. So rather than having to work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., it's like I have a stream on this day. I'll do 2 hours of this project. I'll do another 2, preparing something for another project, and then I can take a break whenever I want, or if I want to sleep in a little bit, I can.
Yeah, so I think it really just depends on what sort of person you are. Like, are you self-disciplined?
Exactly.
Do you have a really bad case of ADHD like me? If you do, then you probably need someone to set the routine for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it really goes back down to, you know, knowing your own situation. And I kind of want to highlight two of the things, which is personal growth and learning, and then knowing your own situation, because it's really, I think it really, you know, I think it kind of crosses the line between the two.
So. I don't think I'm actually really good at being a streamer just because I am really, really bad. Like,
well, you're really good at being a streamer.
Debatable.
Oh, stop.
Stop it, you. Stop it, you.
Oh, my.
But, yeah, like, the one thing that really stresses me out is because I told you, like, how I don't like doing nothing, right? But there's always gonna be times where, like, I have nothing on just because I'm not good at planning.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like all of these points really do apply to either or. It just depends on the perspective.
I think we're just giving our perspectives, and
I have an idea then. I have an idea then, because I was thinking maybe then, what if we, for hope for the best, prepare for the worst, personal growth and learning, and then knowing your own situation, those are our three things that we consider.
No,
and
I think
we each give our
financial
perspective.
stability is one thing that you have to consider. Like, that is...
Oh, well, you know, I think it kind of falls under, because I think this falls under hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You know, because as you're you know, the job hunt.
Okay, so are you saying that we can group everything into these three categories?
All right. Okay. So running towards something in not a way, I feel like could fall under personal growth and learning. And then routine also falls under knowing your own situation.
I guess, yeah.
So I guess once we start, you know, once we start the pitch, we each give our perspective on that piece of advice.
Yeah, and then we can... I mean, before we start pitching, I kind of want to talk about it a bit more, though.
Sure,
I feel like
course,
there's still, like, things that we haven't addressed.
There's plenty of things, of course. I mean, I feel like this could really, you know, this conversation could last.
It's a long-ass conversation. Bro,
it's a long conversation.
These questions are hard. The last episode's one and this one, these are hard, right?
Right. These are hard. And, you know, some simple stories. I hope you're doing okay. And anyone who's in a similar situation, I hope, you know, you can find some solace in the advice that we share today and know that we're here on this journey with you.
To be honest, like, anytime you feel like you're really stuck in a place, I think a good thing to do is just to step away from it. Just advice for some simple stories.
Right, exactly. Just step away from it. Don't think about it too much, you know. At some point, just trust your gut and go with it.
Maybe, like, you don't need to quit your job. Maybe you're just not seeing your job for what it is. Because, like, you know, grass is always greener on the other side.
Maybe you just gotta... Right. Maybe, like, what is it that is stressing you out about your job? Like, is it like the people? Is it the work that you're doing? Or is it really something like in my case where it's like you don't have enough time to do something else, or something that you would, like, go to school or take care of family or something? Yeah. But what else did you want to add on before we start pitching our maybe random one-offs or things that are on your mind during the process?
I don't know. I mean, all in all, like, what do you think about completely not having a job?
Well, it really depends on, you know, are you studying? Are you focusing on yourself? Are you, you know, honing in your craft? You know, I don't know, because I feel like for as long as I could remember, I've, you know, for as soon as I could start working, I did. And that, I guess that's where my journey in fast food was.
Me too.
Because I think growing up when I was younger, I didn't have, like, before I was the working age, I didn't have a lot of financial stability. So I think growing up, I thought I always need to have money or a job. And I think that's one thing that's really, you know, scaring me in my journey of wanting to move away from financial stability, because it's in my head I'm thinking this is something I've worked towards my whole life. You know, financial stability. You know, how crazy am I to be walking away from it now that it's here? Yeah. So that's one thing I'm struggling to come to terms with. But, you know, going back to the whole knowing your own situation, you know, being prepared and things like that, trusting myself that this is the decision that, because I think that fear of walking away from financial stability came from, you know, that from my childhood, if that makes sense. So I think, overcoming that, I don't want to say trauma, but overcoming that history, overcoming that past, and knowing that no matter what, I have what it takes to be sturdy, to be hardworking, and make things work.
I'm guessing you had parents that put their financial burden on you as a kid.
I mean, I grew up buying, using the money that I had from fast food, buying groceries for the other girls I lived with. So I guess that's where that comes from. Because in my head, I'm thinking I don't want to go back.
My parents have paid for anything apart from shelter since I was like really young, I think.
Yeah.
Still in like
because
high
I think
school,
that. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You were sharing.
Oh no. It's just I'm just thinking how like your childhood really defines like a lot.
Right. But it's an interesting thing because I think it's two sides of the same coin, right? So you could grow up with some sort of financial instability that could drive you two ways, right? So that could drive you to always wanting, always searching for or wanting to have a job no matter what, or having that constant stress of like, I need to be making money. And then the other side is the constant stress of, once you have money, worried that, it could all go away at any second. And so like, individuals who maybe spend money or maybe aren't good at managing money, I feel like it could really be two ways. I don't know. How did we get there? I really don't know.
I feel like having stability is probably one of my most important things. I think it's just the way that I grew up. I guess it's what happens when you had no stability as a kid, when your parents didn't provide for you properly. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel that, and so that I definitely feel that fear. You know, of why am I running away from financial stability?
But I mean, I think for you, like, maybe this is just my perspective, but because you already have, like, I would say, like, a proper job, so like, I can just find another one. So technically, you do have something to fall back on. For me, it's like, I've never gotten one. Like, am I ever going to be able to get one? Yeah.
You will. You're hardworking. You're talented.
Me? Hardworking?
What was it? You is smart. You is kind. You is important.
You was grapefruit.
Technically, you have gotten a job. You're here. You're an agent with PRISM Project.
True. Technically, don't you like
big
think
brain?
To be honest, yeah. Like this audition process is probably tougher than any job interviews I've had.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think this was the most nervous I've ever been for.
This is the longest
because it was something that.
How many? We did so many. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So many rounds. So many rounds.
But I think it was a fun process.
It was fun though, yeah. I wasn't really stressed about it. I feel like the reason why I got in is just because I wasn't stressed about it.
Right, because I walked into it thinking like, this is something really important to me. This is something that I really want to do. But, like, don't worry about it. It's the cards will fall where they may.
I gotta be honest with you though, like when I started this, I didn't think of it as a job at all. I came into shitpost.
To this day, I still, sometimes I think to myself, wow, I get to do this. I get to do this,
and really surprised that like we even made any money like at all. I was like, why? Why do people give me money? That's weird. That's strange,
Right, because it's like this is something that I love doing, and this is something that I guess I've never gotten the chance to do that.
Sorry, just one more thing I wanted to add about why I want to find a job. Here's the thing. I don't like relying on individuals for money. When you can see exactly who gives you the money, it feels bad.
I always feel bad.
Yeah.
I always feel bad.
But
when
you take it from a company, it's like, whatever, man. It's a company.
But Captain was saying, don't feel bad. Like, we all help each other out. And I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like some people actually have like a problem with donating money. Like it's an actual addiction. Like, and I don't like that. I feel like am I just helping to you know, make the problem worse? Like, should I really be encouraging that? But at the same time, it's like, if I don't do this, I'm gonna die because I need to live, you know?
Right.
So that's why,
I mean,
that's why I really want to find something stable. So it's like, but then also at the same time, even if I find something stable, it's like, oh, but what if, like, okay, but if I don't make anything, then PRISM Project is gonna die. Then what then? So it's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Well, then what then? You know, you find a way to make it work.
That's
You know, and I think at the end of the day, you and me, and I'm sure all the prisoners out there have what it takes to keep pushing on and to move on through any sort of adversity. So that includes you. Some simple stories I haven't forgotten.
We're still here.
We're still here, but I don't know. What are you ready to pitch today's product? What say you, Luto?
Is there anything you want to add before we do the piece?
Yeah, this conversation could go on for days, but I think we have a good core right now.
Okay.
So, you ready to go? Here is
go.
today's solution from your very own Off the Scuff
Okay.
coworkers. So I guess we'll start off with the first one, the
Wait,
first
before
piece
we
of
start,
advice.
We need to make this
Go
grand. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's Advice Corner, where we offer you the premium "Should I quit my job or not?" advice package. Now take it away.
For the
Buffet.
very low price of $3.99.
$3.99. That is
$3.99. You
$3.99.
heard it. You heard it. Here only, today only, in this VOD or Spotify or Anchor recording only. It's wonderful advice from the very own PRISM Project Generation 2, Luto and Rita. And our first piece of advice is hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yes.
Would
What
you
does
like
that
to do the
mean?
honors?
Oh, should I
Giving
do
the
it? Okay.
first. Do you want to give the first? Because we're each giving our, our unique perspective on each of these major pieces of advice.
I guess
Go
I'll
ahead.
start then. So, if you're contemplating to quit your job or not, consider this. Consider that you should hope for the best and prepare for the worst. What does that mean? It means that you should be hopeful for the future. If you want to start a business, don't be like, oh, my business is gonna fail. I'm gonna die. No, don't think about it like that. Be like, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to start a business. You know, I got this.
Right.
Even if it doesn't end up well, and that's where prepare for the worst comes from, you know? You know that you have something to fall back on. Maybe you quit your job, but you have another one lined up that you can go back to. Maybe you have enough savings so that even if you fail, like, you still have like a leeway period to find another job or whatever you want to do, you know?
Right.
Maybe like you just have a place to stay. Make sure you have all that sorted before you quit your job.
Exactly.
Consider all of that. So like financial
Yes.
stability is definitely one thing you need to consider, which is preparing for the worst.
Right. And especially in the journey of finding a job too, you know, you never know how long the journey is going to be when finding a job. So make sure you're ready for that commitment, because you know, Luto, you definitely know this from experience, and I certainly have too. But when I tell you, finding a job is a job in and of itself.
Oh my god,
it
yeah.
really is.
My God.
Certainly is. So be prepared for that journey. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of emotional energy too. So
Yeah.
you know,
Keep
be
getting
prepared for
rejected
that.
isn't fun.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh gosh. But
Also,
exactly, whether
think about it as like, here's one way I've looked at it. Even if you get rejected, take it as a learning opportunity.
Exactly. But yeah, whether it's preparing, whether it's savings or having a fallback, or it's preparing yourself emotionally or physically for a long journey in job hunting, hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And the other piece of advice we have is make sure you're finding personal growth and learning. When it's finding a job, you know, in some cases you're not able to really decide on a job. You just have to, you know, choose a job and make your situation better. But even if you're stuck in a job that you're not particularly, you know, one that you're, you know, particularly attached to, in that position, maybe try find opportunities for growth, whether it's becoming a manager or assistant manager, or just learning about yourself and how you work with other people. But in terms of quitting a job, you know, what are you really quitting a job for? Are you just running away because you don't want to work, or you just don't like it? Are you running away from something, or are you running towards something? Are you going to become a student? Are you going to, you know, focus on yourself, take care of yourself, see what really makes what's really
Take care of
important
your family
to you.
even.
Exactly. Take care of your family or go to something, a different job that's better.
Right.
Personal growth and learning.
Yeah. For the same thing, like personal growth and learning is important for as one of the reasons for finding a job, you know? Because you're not always in an environment where you're forced to learn new things. And that's where finding a new job could be good for you, you know?
Exactly.
You could now be actually exposed. Maybe your old job or like your old life is you just wake up, you do your routine, and you eat, you sleep, and it's all the same old every day. Maybe now you want to be in a workplace where you're challenged every day to come up with a new solution to whatever problem they chuck at you, you know? So it's good. Find something that challenges you. And I guess our last point for whether you should, last point to consider before quitting the job is, do you know your own situation? Understanding, like, sort of, I guess, what sort of person you are, what kind of environment you want to work in, right? So if you're like me, you need routine. Well, I guess a 9 to 5 is pretty good for that, you know? So a good way to measure that, I reckon, is, did you peak in high school or did you peak in uni?
Oh, gosh.
You think I'm kidding?
Oh, gosh. And on the flip side of knowing your own situation, if you're in the process of, switching jobs, quitting a job, just moving on to something else, don't worry too much about what are people's expectations of me, what are my family or friends gonna think, are they gonna think I'm like a deadbeat, or do they think I'm lazy? You know your situation, you know what you need, whether it's a change of pace, whether you need to just move on to a different chapter of your life. You know yourself best, and don't let others' expectations for yourself drive what you do, because at the end of the day, it's your life, and your career is something that you do. You work your job, not other people. So you know your own situation best.
And also, it's just, what do you want your life to look like, Do you want to maybe work 1 day a week? 2 days a week? Like, maybe you're like, I want to live in a van, I want to travel the world in a van. Like, go for it. In that case, having a job probably isn't that good,
Yeah, exactly. It's really, know yourself best. And it takes a lot of introspection, go maybe in a work day. At the very end of the day, I'm a journaler, so this comes from my personal experience. At the end of the day, journal, like, how did you feel about today? What is things that you didn't like?
That sounds like something you would do.
right, but then that's how you really think in your head, how did I really feel about the work day? How did I really feel about the work week? Or how did I feel this week? Do I want to have a routine?
I've never had one past a week. I keep
Oh,
forgetting to do it.
Yeah.
ADHD gain.
I've never really I've tried bullet journaling before, but I think the maximum I've ever had it was like 2 or 3 weeks, because I feel like I've always like, oh, I need to make it look nice.
Yeah. You don't know how many diaries that I have that have like, that's all empty, that has like 5 pages in it or something. Every time I have to get a new one, because new year, new me, new diary, new me.
What really helps me is because I feel like people think of journaling as it has to look pretty or it has to look regimented. For me, journaling is just opening a book, writing down a thought, and it quickly closing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, that's
I really embodied like to live as to Scuff. So now it's like, it's better to have something than not to have something at all. So I'm just like, who cares about what color pen I use? Who cares if my handwriting look like dog ass today?
Oh, dear. Oh gosh. But I hope some simple stories and the rest of the Prismers out there, I hope that you enjoyed today's product. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Did you think it was helpful? Is it? Yeah, what is your current situation? Are you finding a job? Are you quitting? Are you happy with your job?
Are you part of the Great Resignation? Are you part of history? Are you satisfied with where you are? Maybe you don't have a job. Are you satisfied with your current situation? Whether it's, you're in school, you're taking care of family, you're taking care of a home. Yeah, let us know. And hey, please let us know what your other future, problems are, your solutions, As always, we have these, we come back to the office every day. We get to have fun because
you all are kind enough to leave comments down below in the YouTube subscription for those who are watching on YouTube. And for those on Spotify and Anchor, you could also, use hashtag #OffTheScuff on Twitter. But, leave your questions in the YouTube comments and, let us pick another fun, question for next time. This was a good episode. And Luto, I wish you the best of luck on your journey, and I'm happy to know that I have you that I can reach out to and talk to about stuff like this on my journey too, because I think that's another thing. If you can help it, don't go on this journey alone. Find people in the same situation, talk to them about it. Don't, bounce things off of them. Yeah.
Like I said, take every advice you get with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Even your own, actually, with that being said.
Yeah, true. And with that, thank you all so much for trusting us, Generation 2, the staff here.
Tell us how we did in the comments, by the way. Was this good enough advice for you? I have no idea. I don't have a job. I'm stupid.
Oh gosh, no. Luto is so smart. For any new viewers out there, listeners out there, Luto is very smart.
Big brain. Brain huge. So big galaxy brain. That's me.
Oh, but Luto, I think you might be forgetting to tell them to do something.
Oh, no,
perhaps.
Of course not. I've been saying
Of course not.
All
of course not.
Spotify listeners, Anchor listeners, this doesn't really apply to you, but
No.
YouTube users, oh my goodness, do I
YouTube.
have a task for you? Do you see that little thumbs up button? Yeah, click on that shit. Smash that like button, like how I smash her mom every night. Ring that bell icon, like how I ring her every night. Well, how she rings me every night.
Oh dear.
And don't forget to comment that question, like how I comment on her beauty every night.
And well, I actually just found out that Spotify, you can follow a podcast. You can follow and share a podcast.
There you go.
Spotify, I think maybe Anchor perhaps has one too. Don't forget to share and follow the podcast.
Oh yeah. But honestly, the most important thing is just leave your comments. Otherwise, how do I know what you want me to solve, bro? I can't read your mind.
We wanna know if we're doing a good job here at the office. If you still want us to keep our doors open, we're here for you all. At the end of the day,
yes, sir.
We have the honor to have fun helping you all. So let us know. Put your question down in the comments. Put a like or a heart. Is it like, right? We can heart the questions. Like your favorite ones. Start some conversations. Let us know what you think. Any thoughts you had on today's episode. And as always, thank you again for stopping by the office today. And we'll be back in business the same time in 2 weeks.
Has been fun. Good luck on your job ventures, whatever. Good luck
in everything. Whatever.
To live is the Scuff though, so you're doing good. You're doing good, fam.
To live is the Scuff. Do you have your water? Do you have your off the water bottle? Let's do a
off
quick
the water
toast.
bottle. Here, cheers. Not official merch or anything, but cheers. Come by.
With my water bottle. Come by. Here's to living life gamers. Off the Scuff.
Hydrate, gamers.
And we'll be sure to think of something
off the Scuff. Oh yeah.
Bye.
See you guys in 2 weeks. Off the Scuff. Done.